What did you guys think about the finale for Invincible Season 4? This episode was surprisingly calm compared to every other season finale, which had, this epic grand final battle, but it did a lot of heavy character work, and I appreciate it for that. In fact, the episode actually opens with a fake battle on Earth, but it really is just in Mark's head. Mark is suffering from extreme PTSD from the Viltrumite War, and he's terrified that the Viltrumites are going to come after his family, and he's not going to be strong enough to stop them. Which, let's be honest, if Thrag really wanted to, he would, which is why I think he'd let Thrag do it in each vision, because he feels powerless in that situation. Every time he sees a vision of Thrag killing someone that he loves, he just stares and freezes in panic. Mark hasn't fully processed what happened in the Viltrumite War, and he even tells Cecil, I need a therapist. Mark is a character who kind of had an ego, and the fact that he's willing to admit to Cecil, I need therapy, I need help, shows how deeply he's affected by this. And I will say, I'm glad the Cecil and Mark relationship is stable. Cecil clearly shows to care for Mark, and Mark also cares for Cecil too, because we had a vision of Thrag trying to kill him as well. As for Nolan, I think he's consistently had the best character arc throughout the entire season. He wants people to accept him, and he wants to move forward, but he also understands he did a very bad thing. He's about to put his hand by Debbie, but then he decides not to. He doesn't want to ruin that moment for her. I think the scene where he's on the mountain and he's talking to Cecil is the best in the entire episode. He's like, I'm sorry. And Cecil does acknowledge the apology, unlike Debbie. He says, it helps a little bit, but you still can't make up for what you did. And Nolan is like, I almost died in this war trying to protect the people of Earth. And Cecil's like, cool, do that 2,300 something times, which I'm assuming is the amount of people that he killed in season 1. And you see Nolan's face just drops. He realizes he can't really come back from that. And Nolan's in a very tragic place. I want to make a full breakdown on him, but he has nowhere to be. He threw away his relationship with Earth for the sake of Viltrumites, and he threw away his relationship with the Viltrumites for the sake of Earth. And now he's in a limbo where he doesn't belong anywhere. He's rejected by both parties, so he's just existing. Adam Eve is fat now, and I know that's not much for analysis, but they don't really give us much to work for. She said she's been through a lot of things. She said she feels guilty about it, and you can see that. You literally can see that. I'm sorry, but they didn't show it. You know what I'm saying? That all happened off screen. She still kind of lacks her own identity as a character. But maybe that's just me. Debbie broke up with Paul. That might be the biggest tragedy of the entire episode. I guess I was wrong. Debbie is going to end up with Nolan, but I still maintain the opinion that they really have to be careful with how they do it. Alan didn't really have much to do this episode. He's a new leader of the coalition and just doesn't feel fit for the job. And so his whole thing was trying to find footing and ground as the new leader and being able to lead and put his foot down and actually make decisions. And he's placed with the toughest decision on Earth, which is, should I kill every Viltrumite and every Earthling at the same time? It's definitely going to play a huge factor in the next season, especially given this scene right here, which for everything I said about Thrag, I take it back. I think he's really, really good and really well casted. His voice has grown on me, and his mannerisms too is of course we saw him be very powerful in the last episode, but something about him being diplomatic and just strategically making a deal with Mark, which I believe if Mark holds his end of the deal, Thrag would too. And that's kind of how they set the character. And that's a great character to have. He's doing what he does for the sake of Viltrum. And he tells Mark, if you let me do this, if you let us breed with Earthlings, you will never see me again. And from Mark's perspective, of course, he cannot stop him, but he could save the people that he loves. And so, of course, he's going to make that decision because that's the one thing that's haunted him throughout the entire episode. And it is really interesting now to see how it's all going to play out. Is he going to be the new leader of Family Feud? Does Krieg just got it like that? I thought he was a pathetic loser, but I need answers to whether or not he actually has game. In the end, I think it was a great episode to an otherwise great season, but let me know what you guys think.